All right, well, we're here with Nelson Smotherman this morning. And Nelson, you have been in this church for how many years?
I've been coming here since back in the 40s.
40s, wow. So, and we just celebrated 50 years of your doing the all the attendance records, and what else did you do?
You know, like I said, I've been here 50 years. The first preacher that was here when I was here was the Reverend Edgar Williams, who retired in 1942. And, of course, then I was still in Sunday school. My mother was taught Sunday school. And that's how I got my start working in the Sunday school office.
Was because your mom was teaching?
She taught some of the lower grades. She taught down in the old kitchen.
Oh, okay. And we're going to go down in a minute and see all of that.
All that area, I'll have to tell you about that.
And, well, so just for a little background information, tell me who your family is.
I am a direct descendant of Elizabeth Kelton, who was one of the original founders of the First Presbyterian Church, and on that plaque, it's located in the on Vine Street in the cemetery there. Her name is on there along with all the others that were the founders. I believe she came over here from North Carolina originally, she and her husband. And later on, that was in 1811 that they did the church. The first church, her sons went out in the woods and cut the logs that they built the first church out of. And it was located then on Bellwood Street up there.
Oh, wow.
Above
okay.
Murphy Springs.
Yeah.
And had the name Murphy Springs Presbyterian Church.
How about that? Well, Nelson, that is exciting that you have such a history in the church. And so we're just going to follow you around and let you tell us what all you've seen go on here in the last 50 years.
Okay. I don't think there's but one other person in this church that goes back all the way, and that's Billy Ledbetter.
Well, he's on our list to talk to, too.
As far as I know, he's the only other one.
All right. Well, great. Well, we're going to go downstairs. Okay, so here we are. We're coming down to the bottom. Now, what were you just telling me about this area?
This area right here, actually, you came out that doorway back there.
Uh-huh.
And it was just a little, about maybe 3 or 4 steps down, and outside door right out into the parking lot. See, this was built out, new sections built all over the parking lot, and the house next door to us, it was Jenny Nair's funeral home. Before that, it was a Navy Reserve Naval Recruiting Office, and before that, it was a home.
I'll be. So this used to go outside?
Yes.
This was outside?
From upstairs, I think it really sunk this a little bit and did it like this when they built the new annex.
All right. Okay, well, here we go. We'll keep moving.
And now, I guess we'll start right here.
All right.
This and this was all one big room was Sunday school.
Okay, so this wasn't always a kitchen. This is the old kitchen.
This was not the kitchen. This was part of the Sunday school class.
Okay. Huh.
In fact, this is where some of the classes that I was in fact, before these carpets, tile and all this was put down, if I can remember correctly, it was maybe concrete floors, because we had skating parties in there.
Oh, that's great. That would have been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and Billy Ledbetter was telling me that before the basement was here, they used to bring their kids down and let them run crazy right before church service to get their energy out. Do you remember that?
This had always been classrooms and stuff down here.
Okay.
But yes, they did come down here and play. But now you talk about this kitchen. The kitchen at that time was the junior high classroom right here. This room.
Okay. And that was a kitchen?
And now it's been converted to a classroom. This sealed in doorway here was not sealed in. And there was 2 closets in that office over there that we used as pantry.
Huh.
Excuse me.
Didn't know that. So this was the kitchen.
After this was, I'm not even sure when they turned this into the library, because the library, which I'll tell you later on, go back upstairs, was up there to start with.
Oh, okay. This is the only place I've ever seen the library.
No, it was somewhere else before that.
All right. All right. Well, here we go.
This was not bathrooms at that time. This was the janitor's room.
Oh.
Or sexton's room, as they were called back then.
Yes.
Then, after they did this, then they put him around on the other side over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, this office here now was part of the old kitchen. That's where the 2 closets were in the back there that have ultimately been torn out. Actually, what you had here is about half this room, because you had your closets back there and you wanted to walk back there and go into them. You didn't have, took those closets out and that opened that room up, made it bigger.
Oh, yeah, sure it did.
Made it quite a bit bigger.
Neat. All right. So now that's the youth director's
now, these
office.
rooms back here have always been, but I'll show you something about them.
All right.
This room in here, at one time, these things up here had tracks on them, and you had sliding panels in them. You could actually close this room down. 2 classrooms here, 2 over there, and between these poles was just a big hallway.
Huh. I never knew that.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people right today don't know that.
Yeah.
But that's...
It's a great way to use the space.
I kind of think we even used this room in here at one time for classrooms. Can't remember for sure. But I know these broke down. In fact, one of these in here was the men's classroom taught by Dr. John Kaysen.
I'll be. And I know we have a window upstairs with his name on it.
Yeah. Dr. John Kaysen took the, I guess you'd call it the college class over after his mother retired from teaching it. And I was in that class, and I came down here with him, and when he gave this one up and went back to the college class, I went back with him.
So you thought he was a good teacher?
So much that,
but he was a doctor?
Then it wasn't long after that, was a pediatrician.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't long after that I started actually working in the Sunday school office.
All right.
But you can see how much they've changed this room now and from what it used to be. Just in here, that's where the ping pong table used to be in here. At one time we had one in there years ago.
And then
were
the stairs always there going up into the
and now,
sanctuary?
Where those double doors are?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That was one long, if I remember correctly, was one long room in there. And I'm trying to remember, it seemed like the doors were on the end of it and came into it. I'm thinking if what they did was tore out a portion across there to make this room a little bit bigger, if I remember correctly. And then put those doors in, took part of that area and they made that little storage area out of it.
Okay. Great.
Those 2 offices on the side where our tape ministry room is, and the one over here on this side, I think they've always been there.
But at one time maybe it was all connected?
Wasn't well, just a long, because upstairs where you ring the bell and where the stairs were store the stairway. Stairs to go into the church. That area went all the way through too.
Huh. Okay, I didn't know that.
One of the first jobs I had down here was what Bill Patterson's son does now, is ringing the bell.
Really?
When I worked in the Sunday school office, I'd go in there and ring the bell.
That's great. You've done a lot of things in this
So
church,
there's been a
Nelson.
lot of changes.
Absolutely. And it's a nice looking place now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, where to next? Where do you want to go next?
Well, this is entirely downstairs, so I guess we're ready to go upstairs.
All right, well, let's go up.
Remember, we used to have a Coca-Cola machine sitting in there, and the Coke company took that away from us.
I remember.
When they took the Coca-Cola thing back over, see, we used to have it ourselves. John Scott had it before me and me, and we kept stock here and stocked the machines when it needed it. Well, after they took it over, and this one wasn't producing the amount of money they thought it should. That's why they took it out. We just got one in the sanctuary today.
I didn't know that. I loved that machine. It was a smaller.
It was a little bit smaller, and even the older one before that was one that had trays, had shelves in it, and you laid the drinks down there and they slid over to the side before you get them out of the side over here.
Uh-huh. That's neat. All right, so.
And that old ballroom has been there, I guess, ever since the church was built.
Oh, yes, sir.
And I don't, except for the lecture one, I don't think they'll use that room for anything else.
Oh, okay.
And you can see a bunch of the preachers we had.
I saw that.
Yeah.
We'll want to
I
make
guess
sure
we'll
we.
cut all these lights out before we go up.
Oh, he'll do it.
Cut all of them out as you come through.
Okay. So where you want to go?
But you can see how much all that's been added and all those shelves and things. Just one big classroom then. That it was combined. That wall wasn't even across there.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Wow.
I'm telling you, that's why we could have skating parties. So, and it had those poles, so you skated around the poles.
That would be fun.
See, we would actually be standing in the old parking lot right here.
Well, and I do remember when, of course, when this was added.
Yeah. That's the last thing that was added. Was this side over here.
But it's funny how you forget what was where.
Now the sanctuary is pretty much just like it always was.
Okay.
So, not much you can say about that one. Like I told you, this here went all the way through it one time. Where you
And now we have the two closets.
see they put what they did there. Oh, you know where the light switch is. I really don't. There it is. They sealed that off and made two sections out of it.
And so that's where the bell is connected.
That's the bell puller. And we didn't have that metal rod back, excuse me, back when I was doing it. All you had was that right there, just the cable. Now he got this puller.
That's handy.
Step down carefully.
It's a big jump.
Too old, step down and fall.
We would not like that.
At one time, this area was preacher's office. Right here where all the couches and all are.
So how long ago did they change it?
I don't know, we'd have to look back in the minutes of the church to find out when they did. But this, and I think, if I remember correctly, this is built over one of those metal poles.
Huh.
But, and then, of course, we had the men's restroom was in that corner. The workroom was the women's restroom. So this was kind of added. Well, they're sitting here, you would have been, of course this has been changed a little bit, but you would have had a big circular counter, came all the way around. And you had to go in through that door over there to come in behind it. Not this door, but the outside door.
Oh, okay.
To come in behind it. And that's where the Sunday school was. That's where Barbara would have been if she'd been working here then, whatever.
Barbara, have you been here that long?
I've been here 5 years.
I don't
That's been
think
a while back.
This was like 50 years ago, sorry.
Oh, no.
Your office would still be right where you are, but it was a big circular counter come around here. And you'd come in that outside door there. That wasn't the preacher's office then. Well, it was then because he moved it from there over to there. Or later on, no. I forget what we had in that office. Seemed like it was the secretary's office, and still had somebody sit out here behind that counter. Because this counter was where I sat behind when I started working in the Sunday school office.
Huh.
We're getting quite a history.
This church has really been changed in some aspects.
Yeah, that most of us don't remember.
The church itself, back in the church, this area back in here, of course, all that's been added. Where we're standing here at one time, I'm not sure exactly how it came across it, but anyway, it was all in a big open room, just like the sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
Balconies upstairs around it.
Back here?
Yeah, back here in the back, the balcony was upstairs.
Okay.
There was a big old classroom from that wall back there, behind you, down this way. The classrooms were situated upstairs, around the balcony.
Okay.
Now, to touch on something we talked about earlier, also, when they started the library, it was upstairs on that balcony.
Ah.
That was the first we had, was up there.
Okay. Well, should we go upstairs?
Well, all that upstairs in the back is new. That was added on.
Okay. Do you remember when that was added?
I want to tell you that was in the early 50s.
Okay.
And I believe I'm right. And see, you had none of that back there then. The classrooms, what I'm talking about, the open area back here then, came from, I want to think from somewhere about like this, going back with that balcony upstairs. I wish we had a picture of that old area.
Surely somebody does. That is really fascinating.
I don't know who would have had a nest. My grandfather would have, and Mr. Leo Farrell, who was a photographer, went to this church, and all of his negatives are gone.
Oh.
Jim Carnahan sold the business after he bought his books several years later, went off and left them in the basement, and apparently when they cleaned up, they threw them all out.
Oh, no.
And I never even, if I thought about it, I'd have gone in and got them out, at least gone through them before we were thrown away. The portrait negatives wouldn't have been too bad, any scenes from the town, scenes in here around the church, everything.
Oh, what a loss. Well, all right. Well, is there anything else that we ought to look at while we're here, or is that pretty much it?
No, I think that's pretty much it. The one existing thing that we still have from the church that was located here when it was torn up in Cyclone in 1913 is the cornerstone, which is sitting right out front here.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
It has the date on it,
Yes, it does.
1867. That's the only remaining. And we do have a brick in there in the
common room.
common room there from the 1820 to 1865, 67, whatever it was. Then it got torn down, and then, well, I guess it was 65, 66, so we were back in that one in 67.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. The 67 is the one that was built here. The other one's the one that built over on Vine Street.
Okay. Well, let's go over here where it's a little quieter, because I had something else I wanted to ask you about. Here we go. Okay, so sometimes when we're down here, we hear strange noises or things happen, unexplained things. Is it true that there are ghosts in our church?
I have heard that, but I have I have not actually seen anything. I did ask Bill McKay one time. I came in, and the stairwell over here that goes upstairs to the music room.
Uh-huh.
That light was left on. I cut it off and went and did something else. I know for a fact I know one was in the church. I cut it off, went and did a few other things, and maybe 10 or 15 minutes later I come back and it was on again. And I said, Bill, I've heard the church is haunted. I wonder if it really is.
Oh, my goodness.
And he doesn't know whether it's electrical or something that caused that or what, but That actually happened to me one night in here checking.
But you've heard that?
I've heard it, yes.
So,
Well, there's been several interesting things happening around here.
Like what?
One that Claude Shacklet told me about. That I promise you, if it had happened to me, I probably would have had to come to church for the next year or so. I would come in. I worked at the post office. Went in to work 3:30 in the morning. Would come in, stock the Coke machine, pick the mail up. So, anyway, he was telling me later on that apparently somebody had dropped the key outside. And this black guy found it. Put two and two together and tried this door I was talking about. Used to go out right here in the parking lot. He would come in at night. You know, there were two little bitty rooms up under the front of the sanctuary.
Yes.
And he would come in and sleep in one of those rooms at night. And I said, if you come walking out at night, he probably wouldn't.
Oh my goodness, that would have scared you to death.
And he never bothered anything as far as we know.
Huh.
But we've had several instances of, you know, break-ins and stole a bunch of stuff in the choir loft.
I remember that.
Mink stole. And I chased one out of here one time on Sunday.
Wow.
And I made a mistake, had asked Bill Tipton to try to get him. Well, I should have known better than that. I should have gone and asked because Bill wasn't physically able to catch me. In time I got to around the corner, he was completely out of sight.
Oh no.
But I mean, you know, we had a lot of instances, and we used to have a policeman that was very good about letting us know if there's somebody on the loose that was breaking into cars. So we kind of kept a watch on it.
Well, you know, Nelson, you've been here a long time, and I know that we've talked about the things that have changed in the building. Are there things that you've really watched change as far as the worship and the people in the church? Are there things that you've really noticed?
Well, I think one thing that you're going to notice, every time you change preachers, you're going to have a little bit different change in your services. So yes, there's been, I mean, nothing that you could maybe, physically stand here and describe.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to see, well, the latest change is one that John brought with him, and greeting everybody before you start the church service every morning.
Right. So that wasn't something that was done here.
No, it was not something they did back years ago.
Okay. Okay. Did they used to bring kids in the church more than they do today?
Yes, because at the time I was coming up, we didn't have the nursery then.
That's what I wondered. But they had like a cry room or something where people with babies could go?
As far as I know, they didn't.
Oh, okay. Did kids get up and run around like they do today?
I don't remember if they did. Now, a couple other things about this downstairs here. The assistant preacher's office and Pat's office were both used as classrooms at one time.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the assistant preacher's room wasn't ever the main pastor's office. That was here where I'm standing.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
See, I'm not real sure back when Dr. Williams was here where his office was in here.
Okay.
It could have at that time been one of those two. I really don't know.
Okay.
Because the first preacher that I knew real well here was James Herndon McCain. And I'll tell you something that you might be interested in doing to add to this interview.
Uh-huh.
The house around on Lytle Street, not the corner house on the left-hand side going back out Lytle, but the second house was the manse for the First Presbyterian Church, and that's where all our preachers lived up to.
Really?
Ellen and Ralph moved into it. Then the church approved something where he was able to go buy his own home.
I did not know that.
So you might want to get a picture of that building too.
So on Lytle, as you're leaving the church, if you go down Academy, you're going to turn
If you go down here to the Academy and take a left and go up 1 block, that's Lila Street. Okay, do you know where Sperry Randolph lives?
Yes.
The house directly across the street from Sperry Randolph.
Was the Presbyterian Church Manse.
It was called the Manse. And that's where all our preachers lived up to, including Ralph Llewellyn until he got his own place. And then we sold it, and the preacher since him come in and found their own place. And I don't know sure whether we subsidized them on that or not.
Okay.
I've never seen it. Seems to me we do.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you would want to share? Any other memories or things that somebody might find funny or interesting?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I know we won't see much of you here soon because you'll be busy at the state tournament.
I will.
And that's your other half of your life.
The only other thing, and I showed you that last Sunday, and you got some pictures of it, was the old offering plate.
Yes. Yes, I got some
back
great
in
pictures.
the teens.
That was very neat.
And we had them like that when I was little, with the drop pocket, as I call it. I'm not sure when we changed it. First thing we went to, you remember the wooden ones that I had?
Yes.
Had to call. Okay, when we went to those, I don't know when they went to those brass ones.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I wonder why they had the pocket in
I
there.
have no idea.
Okay. Well, that is neat. Well, Nelson, I can't thank you enough for taking time to be with us. And I know everybody will want to check out the virtual museum as we build it.
They should. I wish we could put have some kind of area in here to set up a little museum, that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll work on that.
Because that offering place, one thing could go in here. There might be several other things that people would have, old scrapbooks that people put together and donated to the church.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Absolutely. We'll check into that. Thank you.
Okay.